Howdy mates, here's my second video while visiting the Oscar Scherer State Park. So now I have entered into the Hardwood Hammocks. And I gotta say, it is beautiful in here. You know, you get to have some shade and cover. This is nice. And look at this. See all this sand that's ripped up? You want to know where that's from? Well, it is wild boar, if you guessed correctly. Wild boar are found throughout the state of Florida. And they're actually extremely intelligent creatures because they're able to sniff out any of the, root vegetables that might be underneath the sand. So that's why they have all these, they create all these digging marks on them. But this is where you'll start seeing more of the oaks going on that have like the Spanish moss hanging from all the trees, as you can see. And then you've also got your cabbage palm here as well. And usually, let's see, a good way that you can tell if you are looking at a cabbage palm, or also known as a cabbage palmetto, is, as you can see, like the stem right here, where it meets with all the other fronds, it usually has like a triangular shape to it, almost as if you were to look at a pencil. So that's one way you can tell from a cabbage palm and, say, for instance, a saw palmetto. Let me see if I can find a saw palmetto. Okay, here we go. Perfect. All right. So, in contrast, a saw palmetto, see the stem here? It instead has the shape of a square. And usually, with the saw palmetto, along the edge, which you have to be careful, as it gets further into development, you'll start seeing like these little sharp points that are along the stem. And that's a fantastic way to tell the difference between the two. Yeah, these are all essentially cabbage palm trees right here. So like, yeah, some of these are young ones that will eventually develop further out. Surprisingly, there is a slash pine within a hardwood hammock. That doesn't happen too often. But yeah, it's truly remarkable. And then, I wanted to point something else out too. Especially on these oaks, you'll start seeing these bromeliads right here. These bromeliads are basically, the best way to describe them is they're aerial plants. So essentially, they don't need to necessarily be on the ground. They're able to use a tree to have access to sunlight. And you may be thinking, do the bromeliads harm the tree? No, they don't. Not necessarily. So in a way, it's kind of like a relationship of commensalism, which is basically where two organisms are in contact with one another, and one of them benefits from the interaction, but the other doesn't. So in that case, as I was pointing out, it's the bromeliads that benefit from using the tree to gain more sunlight. Quite remarkable how nature, conducts itself. So, give you guys another quick view around of a great example of a hardwood hammock. So yeah, this is what happens when the scrubby flatwoods transition into a hardwood hammock. This is what happens when growth is allowed to occur. So alrighty, thought I would share that with you guys. Hope you learned something. You can see that, you know, Florida is definitely one of my other favorite places to visit. So alrighty, hope all of you enjoy your Saturday, and Journey on a Journey is out. Take care, folks.